Órale, Cholo, trucker mass movies and shows, and here we got the movie Civil War. Now, I went ahead and I reacted to this trailer a while back when this movie was come out in theater, and I had said, "Hey, you know what? This looks very interesting," because a lot of you guys were getting at me like, "Hey, you're gonna watch this movie? You get watch this movie?" And yeah, I actually wanted to go watch it in theater, but life got in the way. I wasn't able to do that, and I ended up watching it on at home. So I'm kind of glad I did not watch it in theater. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into it, man. So basically the movie revolves around four journalists, right? They drive in this SUV with the word press on the side. Yes, because they are part of the press, right? They're there just to shoot footage and get the story. That's who you're gonna follow the entire movie. Now, the Civil War itself, you don't really ever get to learn like, oh, okay, what side is this side on? Is this blue? Is this red? Is this Democrat? Is this Republican? You don't really get to know any of that, right? You just know that there is a civil war going on. The movie starts with the president giving a speech. The only thing that you do here is the coalition of California, Texas, and I think they even threw in Florida in there, which people want this stuff there's people today that are really divided in this country, and I'm not going to get into it, that want this to be some sort of reality check to be like, oh man, this is really going to happen. This movie is fiction, okay? Because I've had people in the when I did the reaction to the trailer get on the comment section like, hey man, how does that make sense? California and Texas, how would they come together? Like it's a movie. All right. It's a movie. So yeah, you never really get to learn or understand who's who. You see some military personnel going at it with just civilians, but civilians, they're well armed. And then you also get to see military personnel going storming the White House because they're looking to kill the president. I mean, it's a pretty crazy movie, but let me go ahead and tell you guys this. Okay. So you follow the reporters, and all they're doing is just going and telling the story. All right. The reporters pretty much led by Kristen Dunst. I don't remember any of their names, their character names in the movie. It's basically two reporters, the guy with the accent and Kristen Dunst. Okay. The other two just kind of hop along for the ride. You got the older guy, the older heavy-set gentleman. He's some old school reporter of some sort. And then you got a young girl that just worships Kristen Dunst's character for the most part and wants to be like her. Kristen Dunst doesn't really want coming with them because it's gonna get dangerous. So they're making their way on, they're on their way to DC, right? They got many miles to travel. And at this time, you don't know, man. You don't know what you're going to run into, right? It's a civil war. You're not really calling the cops. There's none of that going on. So there's a lot of danger on their way to DC because they do want to go to DC and they do want to interview the president, right? Before it gets overrun or if it even does get overrun. And yeah, they experience they run into problems here and there, man. It's kind of a lawless town now, or a lawless town, like a lawless country now, for the most part. Everybody's strapped up, and you could get gunfire at any time. And like I said, you don't really know who's who, what side is on what side, who's fighting for what. They just come across some fire that's some gunfire battle that's going on, and they're just there to report it. You never really get to understand, like, okay, so who are they with? Who are they fighting against? It's just you're just there just for the action, just like the press is. Now, I look, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with this movie. This movie to me never really captured my attention the way the trailer did. As I was watching the movie, I was losing more and more interest in the movie. There's quite a few things in the movie that just kind of disconnected me from the movie itself. I never cared about any of the characters. The character development was really not there. Um, I understand Kristen Dunst's character. She's pretty much just callous, right? Because she's seen so much. So you never really see her joke or smile or laugh or anything of that nature, right? And it does show just a little bit of her history of, everything that she's seen in her day, right? Where she's pretty, screwed up in the head. But um I never connected with any of the characters. I don't want to blow it too much for you guys. All the characters don't make it. All right. I'm not gonna say who, but whenever the characters died, I didn't really care. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Um, there was times in the movie where I was just like, I don't care about this scene. They're inside of a clothing store. Hey, try this on. I'm like, this isn't doing anything for me. The music, the choice of music that they put in this movie during certain scenes, maybe it worked for you guys, or maybe it will work for you guys. I'm telling you guys right now, it completely disconnected me from the movie. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing what's going on, and you're playing this type of music right now. Like, it's completely disconnecting me from the movie. I'm not feeling this music is not making me feel what I'm seeing on the screen. And I was just losing interest more and more and more and more. And I was just like, good gosh, I just kind of want this movie to end. It's a crazy thing because I don't want to say it's a bad movie. I just had a really tough time connecting with the movie. That's all. I just had a tough time caring about the movie. But I don't want to say it's a bad movie or it's a bad story because it's not that bad of a story. It's kind of hard to explain. It's somewhat of it's a good story, but I just don't think they told it very well, or whatever they were going for did not work for me personally. Like I said, it could possibly work for you, but a lot of the music in the movie just kind of like set me off. Like, what the heck? I'm not feeling what's going on now. Um, some of the things that went on in the movie didn't quite make sense to me. Like the guy who was one of the four. Um, somebody gets shot and dies, and he's very shooken up. But then somebody else towards the end gets shot and dies, and he doesn't even really care. Like, what happened, man? You're like extremely broken up to see this other person get shot and die to the point where like you're losing it and just yelling at the top of your lungs while you're crying. But now this other person dies who you seem to be much, much, much closer to, and you don't even care. And not only that, but in the last scene, I'm not even sure what he was there for. He didn't even have a camera in his hand. He's just, running with them. It's like, come on, come on. It's like, dog, what? You don't have a gun on you? You don't have a camera on you? What are you doing? Why are you there? It's a gunfight. If you had a gun on you, I would at least say, like, okay, he is there for extra protection for his colleagues there who are there to shoot with cameras. He's there for extra protection. But he didn't have a gun, he didn't have anything. And look, at the very end of the movie, I don't even really care what he asked the president. I thought to myself, should I rewind it? Because I'm not sure I really caught it. And I didn't rewind it. I didn't catch it, nor did I care. I just kind of wanted this movie to be over. Again, I don't want to exaggerate and say it was a bad movie. It just really did not make me care about any of the characters. I didn't care if they all died. I didn't care if they all lived. I just really did not care, man. Um, again, good story, bad storytelling. I guess that's the best way I could put it. What did you guys make of this movie? Because this movie was getting a lot of hype. It was definitely getting a lot of hype. Hell, I was pretty hyped up to watch it. And look, I'm glad I did because I was gonna watch it at some point regardless. But nah, it just didn't work for me, man. Like I said, I just did not care watching the movie. And the characters, I didn't care about them either. I didn't care about the young girl. I didn't care about any of them, man. Um, Good story, bad storytelling. That's how I'll leave it. Cholo Trucker, Mas movies and shows. I'll catch you guys on next one.